Hello there, fellow humans. Hi, Oath. How you doing? You're late. What do you mean I'm late? Started at zero, zero. Wait, this is called Shroud of Secrecy. It's not a Shroud collab. That's kind of interesting. Why why are there tier six? What the, what? Why is that a tier 6 crate? And why is the main reward a camouflage for the AT-15? What the heck? It's already 20 over. Was it? I pressed start stream at 20:00. Oh well, maybe I'm late. Oh, jeez. I mean, wouldn't be unsurprising because my back hurts like shit. So, yeah, I think I caused pain somehow. Alright, well I know exactly how. What is this? Oh, it's another Weeble win. How original, guys! Let me guess, titties? Titties. uh, can I gift the free members already? Or is that gifting? Nope. I don't remember when I done that. Of the Relena and Trophy Show. That's nice. I mean, the Trophy Show is kind of very interesting to play if you do it right. Right. Ow. Jesus. Oh. Wow. Wow. Woman zoom. Well, depend. What the? Okay then. There's three. So we got two guys. Oh my. Yeah. So yeah. Very about the yeah. How do you describe this? Like I don't know how to describe, but that's just what it is. So yeah, it's questionable. It is questionable. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Hi Goose, how you doing? Yo. Yeah, probably gold, probably. Oh Lord Hater. That is exactly how you can describe it. Yes. How you doing? How's the hate going? Probably pretty good if you have teammates like these two guys. See, playing games like this does show you that a lot of, like, these people can vote or will be able to vote eventually. And if you look at it that way, it's not a surprise how things are going. Right? Alright. I'm playing a TD willing. Well, it has a birthday and I haven't played it in a long time, so I might as well jump into it. I can do the E50M, yes. Can do the E50M. God damn. Yeah, I do have the I do have super test tanks, but just most of the time I don't play. I play them like one battle and be like, okay, and then that's it. So it's kind of weird that they're on the personal account. They could put them on the press accounts. It make a lot more sense, but all the stats and performance and everything gets leaked anyway, so there's like no point to keep it secret. Or to have like some sort of agreements on them, right? Because that shit leaks anyway. I'm out of power. And I have power again, and I gotta ram him. Never mind. Alright. It's like either you run a tight ship, right, and everything's secret, or you have a game that is apparently so flimsy that any data miner can just pull it. So, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the problem with Blitz, because if you put a tank into the game files, it has to appear on people's accounts to play it. And then you can just pull that out. Poof. Well, of course you can't show test tanks. But, like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna click on it. I'm not crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I can. I probably can't. On stream, right? But they're there. Like, the hell am I gonna do? If I scroll through here, I can't hide them, can I? I can either pin them, or like put them like somewhat out of the way, or they're just in the middle of the thing, and I play the STB, and poof, there it is. All right, it is now time for the tank requests. Let's go to queue. On. And slap him in the chat, lads. Echolastra, no I don't. So I have, you know, hi Angel. You're different. A50M 5120 Rumpazova and KPZ07RH. One more tank can be requested as well. From a different person. One tank per person. Per list. Of course, you can do another one next list, but you know. The free cap is there for Mr. Books. Congratulations. I have 587 tanks, which is about 70 or 80 tanks off from the total. I probably need over $1,000 to get the remainder that I don't have. Obviously, I haven't spent anything on this game since December 2023, so that's never gonna happen. You know, I've bought the odd tank here and there because obviously Wargaming gives me 10k gold a month for not recommending their stuff they sell. Right? I don't know why. I mean, here's the thing. I don't consider it payment because it has no value, obviously, legally. It's Wargaming gifting themselves, like, it's Wargaming gifting Wargaming 10k gold that I can use legally. But yeah, I don't know what happened with Nino or whatever, but I mean, I am subscribed to Nino, so if something would have gone on there, I probably would have seen it, but I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't really be surprised that you know, because Nino seems Nino is a cool guy, you know. It tends to be the case. The biggest douches always pick fights with the people they can't be, right? Because no amount of 12-year-olds following you and giving you money is gonna make you not an asshole. You know? Alright. And in the end, we'll all get judged by the flying spaghetti monster anyway. So... Sauce. Yeah, Nino does some good stuff. I mean, he makes even less videos than me now. But... yeah, he's got good stuff. Alright. So I'm dead. But I don't have a team, so it's fine. He managed to create beef with Nino. Yeah, like Nino's pretty chill, you know. I mean, I had some conversations with him, right, and he's pretty chill, and he's not the kind of guy that would start beef, you know? Like, I'm the kind of guy, I'm not gonna do beef unless someone serve me beef. Right? But... Lionel's just chill. Anyway. Let's talk about something important. I don't know anything important right now, so... suggest. No, we're not gonna buy Soviet containers. Yeah. Like, what the hell? No. We can talk about that. Like, gambling is a pain because it doesn't physically hurt you, but it does psychologically and monetarily destroy you. Oh, S&B Vipera. Well, I mean, it's a tank destroyer pretending to be a heavy tank. It's pretty good for what it is. Obviously, used to be worse than the regular tier 8, but then Wargaming was like, nah, I'm not gonna make money off that. So they nerfed the tech tree, the SMV whatever, and yeah, now the Vipera is better and it's pretty good. Like, it can definitely be recommended. Why do I have it? What the heck, lads? I mean, he's dead, but the heck? The 57 heavy up there, that's gonna shoot me. Probably. Alright. Let's pull 3 because you should export your data set from the game and look at how much money you lost. Because it's... if you regularly gamble, you've lost a lot more than you won. That's just how it works. Alright. The heck? There we go. What the hell is happening here? Steady B behind. Is it the... Gotta turn around, I guess, and... This is a weird battle. Makes no sense. I can kill him. He can't kill me, because he needs one shot. Mate, I'm here. Should have friggin' paid attention. Oh, didn't work. Bro's just standing there, what the hell? Look at him, he's just standing there. Oh, now he moved. Stay behind. What do you mean I see lots of things? I just... Pay attention. Like this game, as long as you pay attention to what's happening around you, it is quite easy. Right? You're not gonna be super duper perfect Unicum. But as long as you like pay attention to what's happening around you and you react to it, you'll be fine. You know, I mean, I'm generally playing pretty terrible now. You know, I've always... The last couple of years, I've always been on the, like, 3000 WN8 kind of level that I'm holding. Because below is... I don't think I could actually play worse. And above, it's not worth it or rewarding, because... It's the damn point. I mean, Calestra, you barged in here with talk of drama, and everyone else is now curious, and you're not saying anything. Interesting. Like, either you don't say it, or you say it. I would have been happier if you didn't say it at all. Now, you gotta deliver. Alright, we got a T-100. And a Caro. They're checking themselves. Alright. Was it because of that tier list that Nino made? I've seen that. Right, like Nino made a tier list that's not like up and down, but it's like harder to play tanks and... That tier, yeah. I haven't watched the video, but I do think it is a better concept than just the up and down tier list, of course. Right, because again, that's the problem I had when I made my tier list. Right, where I'm like, you can put the Leopard in S tier, but if you put it in S tier, people will think that it's really amazing, and then get it, but they won't be able to play the vehicle because it's a tank that requires a skilled player. Right, so that kind of... That Nino tier list solves any problems that the other tier list might have, right? Because the other tier list is just like better or worse, which, you know, doesn't say much, it's really why. But hey, if you put everything into S tier, then, you know, you don't have that problem. Wait, wasn't... where the hell the light tank? What? I had a medium tank here. What the heck happened? What the heck happened, bruv? So, M60, question. Instead of, you know, just doing normal things, you've now decided to jump into a, dude over there. And now the Caro's doing something stupid. Here's the thing. Distance is armor. You can see this right here. Right? I'm further away from the Caro. And the Caro tries to drive towards me. So, obviously, I have an advantage here. Because while he's driving towards me, I can make use of that. Right? And shoot him in the meantime. So, distance is armor. Right? Remember that. Okay, and you're dead. That wasn't me. Should watch it now, give your opinion on the tier list. Well, I mean, I did watch sections of it. Like a hedge sniper by moving 183 and 400 meters. It only works if you actually also have cover around you, right? It doesn't work in an open field. Well, I mean, it works to the degree, where if they're in an open field and they're driving towards you, they're gonna be inaccurate while firing, and you won't be if you're stationary, right? But let's say, like, I was just your sort of semi-hull down, and the car was charging at me, I can peek him, shoot him, he's driving towards me, but while he's driving towards me, he can't do anything, right? And I just pull back behind cover again. And reload. Alright. Disagree with the 3-shot batch being easy to play, not that much compared to the 3-shot batch. Well, I prefer the 3-shot batch still. So, I don't know if I have it equipped now, but the 4-shot just, it don't feel bonita. You know what I mean? But, see, things like that, those are just personal decisions, right? And stats are only going to carry you that far. Right, as well. At a certain point, you have to decide, do I like this thing or not? Like, it doesn't... It's a video game, right? It's not rocket science. It's not even an esports game, right? There are tournaments. There is some okay prize money, but nothing you could ever live off, right? So, it is... It's also never going to be an esports game, let's be honest. So it is always just going to be an amateur thing. Well, I mean, World of Tanks PC was an esports game and had, like, organizations and big, the Wargaming League and stuff like that. They had sort of people that got paid to play, pretty much. But even that folded because Wargaming lost, like, 20 million on it, so they're... What's the chance they're going to do something like that when they, significantly smaller game? Right? 0. So, Blitz never going to be an esports title. So that's a waste of time. Okay. A bit horny there, bud. Nice playing team. I made it 50k, so... If you got 9 people, so that's decent. Alright, 1500 is a fucking joke. Yeah, that's how much you have to spend on the game to, like, get the tournament meta tanks anyway. So yeah. I mean, if the 50k prize pools for the entire thing, right, then you have, like... Probably have prizes down to the 8th. So you're not gonna... The winning team's probably gonna get, let's say, 15, maximum 20. 25 if they're using the bad system. Right, then you're not having much from that, especially if you have 9 players, right? You have 2 spares. So, yeah, it's not worthwhile. Hello, Murky. Hello, Bears. How you doing? But yeah, it's like, Blitz is an amateur game, right? It's for fun. So, obviously, if you resort your entire personality, your entire self-worth to being important in the Blitz space, then, you know... There's that. Yeah, Clever, how you doing? Team gets like 15, 20k. Yeah, exactly, so it's... Yeah. Alright, let's just do another round. No SDG. Let's go. That bunny's cute, though. I mean, the animation department of Wargaming definitely knows what they're doing, right? Also, the Gooner department also knows what they are doing, right? With this kind of stuff. And let's be honest, the more predatory and terrible a shop is, the better the marketing department is doing as well, right? Because that's kind of how it works. You know, there's these thousands and bazillions of worthless currencies and all that. That's on purpose, right? Wargaming is not just, you know, being terrible. But they're doing that so you can't interchange anything, right? That every new event, you have to get something new. Like, imagine the charms would be transferable. Yeah, wrong word. So, if you, like, you open a box, and then you have one set of charms. So if you open 30 boxes, you guarantee the tank. Right? But that's not how it works. Right? You have to open 30 of one type of tank. World of Tanks PC does a little bit better, right? Where you have, like, when you open the boxes, you guarantee a tank after a while. You have that with the charms as well. But the World of Tanks PC boxes, they tend to have a lot of tanks in them and not just, like, one, so... Anyway, more tank requests. E4. STG going in this? No. So I said before the tank requests, no STG, so there's no STG. So... Alright. Because every joke, once done too many times, loses its appeal and just becomes annoying rather than funny. So, yeah. Find new material. Well, DEI is cancelled, so... Too bad. Oh no, they got 2 mediums, they only got 1. Yep, up. To 5k damage. I'll see. Oh. This is the game. Nah, probably not. Probably not. Gee. Yeah. But imagine how pathetic do you have to be to start beef with Nino? Like, what the heck? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Alright. Can I access the core of fineness? No. It's not how funny works. Because otherwise, conservative comedians would be funny. But they're instead just annoying. Can you even call that comedy? Alright. Alright. Yeah, I mean, of course, the Gooner department has the highest budget because it makes the most money. You know, which why there's no maps, no new maps. Because new map, I mean, obviously they're transferring to Unreal Engine 5, which, you know, could have been not the greatest idea they've ever had to pick that engine. Think you're better than your previous self. Well, I'm dumber than before. So there's that. Okay, blur filter engine. Yeah, but that's the blur has a purpose, right? Because the worse the graphics are, the more you need to blur it to make it not look that terrible. You know, you don't notice it. Which is why a lot of women only go out with men once they're drunk. You know, when you blur the vision enough, you no longer see how hideous the dudes are, and then you're like... Alright. I mean, as a man, you just get drunk, you end up naked in a bush, you don't know how to get there. Boom. Heyo, Razvan, thank you very much for becoming a member again for 43 months. Jeez, that's a long time. Thank you very much. I think I'm spotted. I'll keep the current bullets in at least. That's sharp and clear visuals. Yeah. I mean, you probably can't get much more out of this one, to be honest. I mean, you could, if with enough effort, because if you look at what Valve was able to do with CSGO, right, then, damn. But... you know, you gotta consider that, there's a heavy there. Bad idea. See, this is the difference between a shit player and a good player. A shit player would have peeked that corner, you know, checked is there some guy there, and then once he saw the 50B, immediately turned the other way. But that guy just kept going, right? Because he was just staring at me. He wasn't actually paying any attention to what's actually going on. Right? Now the IS-4 is staring at me, but I have patience. I don't need to peek him. Right? I got time. He's unspotted. And now here comes the 4005. Do I want to fight that? Do I want to deal with that? Hell no. I'm just going to send the 50B in. He's going to take that. Now I'm going to hide behind the 50B because I know I'm smaller than him. Right? I can use him as a shield. Pretty much. There's the IS-4. See that? Kranwagen. Boom. Refocus. Now I know the 4005 is very likely either out of shells or has one shell left. So I can disappear. Because he just fired a lot into the... into 50B, and now the 4005 and the Kranwagen are pushing. Which doesn't bother me, because I'm a lot faster. The Kranwagen is probably going to show up right there, which is why I'm going to pre-aim it and shoot him in the face. And I'm going to go for the reload again, because I don't plan on engaging either of them. And what I want to do now is I'm simply going to disappear. Spot it again. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm gonna go this way. You're trying to sound smart, you're playing Blitz. True, but that's how Blitz works, you know, it's just... literally just reaction to what happens. You don't need your brain. Don't need any of that. Just see, now I'm turning around, I'm going the other way. Why? Because he didn't expect that. Now he's turning his turret, which is slow as hell. Reload. Alright. 43 months, baby's almost out. What? That's not how pregnancy work. Pattern recognition, same as chess. Yeah, pretty much. That's all of it. Know your enemy, and also know that your teammates are your enemy. I do remember me calling CS a game of clicking heads at German management strategy. Yeah, watch some professional CS, which is actually professional, and opposite to Blitz, where, you know, where if you're a pro CS player, even if you're like if you're a tier 3 CS:GO pro, you're gonna get paid more than you win with any wargaming tournament, right? So calling it professional is hilarious, right? Because you're still a plumber. You're a Blitz playing plumber. You're not a wrestling plumber, but you're a Blitz playing plumber. All right. It's like 5 years. I don't know. Maybe there are 5 viewers. Ugh. You know that Wargame is paying some and they get us in gold. Yeah, I know. I'm getting paid in gold. Sort of. I'm getting 10k gold a month. Ooh. Alright. Yeah. Teslas are normally paid. This is wargaming we're talking about. Do you think a company that can't even afford a dedicated host for their streams can... It's gonna pay their people? Hell no. Alright. That's the thing, I mean, I'm thinking of, you know, doing the other channel finally, but I don't know how to start, you know? Not with what, but how? Like, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to piss off idiots? Or am I just trying to explain stuff? Obviously, the pissing off idiots is always gonna work better. If one channel, I'm not... The former second channel, yes, that I still have lying around. Oh, there's a guy. Try to satisfy people. Eh. That channels do good. Hold on, let me react to Nino's tier list. Jeez. They're low effort, of course. Everything's low effort. It's there's like a couple of channels, right, that have like 1,000 views, 1,000 views, 1,000 views, and as soon as the video has Trump in the title, it just 100,000 views. It's insane, right? It is crazy how little integrity and morals matter anymore. It's only entertainment value that matters. You know? It's like, it doesn't matter how big of a criminal you are, as long as you're entertaining, people are there. Oh, Severus. To a caveman discovered channel. Yeah, but that would be insensitive to the true caveman living among us. But think like that. Go buy a flooded McLaren P1. Oh, yeah, no. What? Alright. Another round of tanker quests. Yeah, Severus is still disliked by top chat, but I'm obviously on live chat. Alright. I got an egg, but I can't afford to open it. No egg for me. Yeah, like, this is all on purpose, right? These charms. Because if there'd be one type of charm, you could actually get a tank, right? And Wargaming wouldn't make as much money. Charlemagne. Don't think I have the Cobra. Don't think I have the Cobra. What vehicle I was particularly interesting? Nope. Don't have it, unfortunately. CS63. How much does a spoon cost? Okay. It's 3 spoons. It's gonna be worth... Oh look, they invested more effort into a new animation. Wow, and I got ass. F3. Spring customization container. Worthless. Worthless. Yay. Remember, kids, customizations are only worth as much as you think they are. 75. VK90. It's not new animation, it's lockbox. Well, there you see that I've never actually opened lockboxes. Because I don't gamble, I'm not a degenerate. Alright. Alright. I don't hate wargaming, I just know what they're doing. I just know exactly what they're doing. And any other company, mostly for that matter. Like, there's very few companies that actually act morally, because here's a piece of advice. If you are a good person, you will very rarely make it as far as someone that's a bad person. Right? Because if you step on someone else's head, you can go a lot higher. But if you have to ask people, hey, can I step on your head? You're gonna need a lot of people to ask to get there. Right? But if you just do it, boom. So, in a lot of cases, you can get a lot further by being a dick. Alright. But why I stand on peasants' heads, I can build a stair. Yeah, but to build stairs, you either need to hire a peasant to build them for you, or you need to learn how to do it. Right? I mean, that costs time and effort, and you don't want to do that. Right? A corpse is faster made than a ladder. Alright. Who's the head? Gotta find the right tank first to use it on. Alright. Enemy armor destroyed. Okay, guys. Should play a day? This. I can play today, then I'll play again next Tuesday. Or when I'm making a video. I used to play a lot more, but... yeah. I used to play a lot more, especially, you know, pandemic, stuff like that, but... Let me open Steam. I have played a total of 6.1 hours of Blitz in the last 2 weeks. With a total of 5,200 hours. So, yeah. CS, obviously, you have to consider with those 5,200 hours, a lot of those hours are double. Because, like, I'm recording replays and streaming and stuff like that. Right? What I'll do when I'm recording replays, like, I play the battle and I gotta record the replay, so it goes twice. Right? So I'll start the replay, do something else, 5-10 minutes later, come back, stop the replay, start the next replay, do something else, come back. So you can have, like, an hour of Blitz playtime with just recording replays, but I've been on the PC like 5 times. Right? So yeah, that's why it's over 5k hours. It's not just gameplay, it's also a lot of replay recording and stuff. Or just leaving the game open in the background, you know, like. But yeah. Played 6 hours the last 2 weeks, which is exactly the 2 3-hour streams. So about 5 hours more than I played in the last 2 weeks. You don't defend 5,000. It is nothing to be proud of. So I would be ashamed if it actually was playtime, right? Probably less than half of it is playtime. Come here. Let's see. I mean, once you've played Blitz enough, once you're as good as the 0.01%, there is no incentive to play anymore. Because what's the damn point? Hello. Ow. Let's shit that straight line. Yeah, because it's a phone game. So, and an engine that's probably 15 years old, minimum. So. Hello. You got a grill behind you, buddy. Now me in front. Alrighty. And the Foch ain't a threat, because he's got, like, no gun mobility. The Karo could be really annoying. Foch can't get to me here. 93 is already dead. Yeah, that's really annoying. Nope. I'm gonna nope the heck out of here. I keep getting short within the awareness, awareness, awareness. If you're in a fight and you don't know how to get out of that fight, then you shouldn't have been in that fight in the first place. Right? You want to know your exit plan before you know your entry plan. Right? If you can't get out, you shouldn't get in. Right? It's like... Alright. It's like sneaking into your girlfriend's house with her dad asleep downstairs. If you don't know how to get out, you should never get in. Because otherwise you're dead. So... well, all I'm doing, essentially, and with every tank really, just adapt it to whatever the tank's able to do, is I'm looking at the battlefield, looking at the minimap, where are the enemies? And obviously I'm not gonna YOLO at the start, right? If I don't know where the enemies are gonna be. Right? So if your team's with you, you want to go aggressive and take position and, you know, secure the middle of the map. But if there's nobody with you, or if there's one guy with you, then you want to approach it a little more passively and just, like, poke. Is there someone there? Is there someone there? Is there someone there? Because otherwise, if you drive around a corner with 60 kilometers an hour, and there's 3 guys instantly spotted, you're dead. So you have to adapt the way you play to what situation you're in, right? Always think, what can I do, and how am I going to get out if something happens, right? So that was the CS63, now next to the BZ75. Windows app runs smoother for me, I don't use Steam. Okay. Well, yeah. If it works, it works. And most of the time, once you have a lot of experience, you can tell in the first 30 seconds whether you have a good team or not. Right now, we got 2 mediums, they have 3. Ignore the idea of the light tank. There is no such thing as a light tank in Blitz. There is a medium tank with better camo rating and no armor. Right? Because light tanks essentially do the exact same thing as mediums. So, in a case like this, what do we have? Okay, they have we have 2 mediums, they have 3. So, what we want to do is we want to take the advantage, right? You never want to fight fair, ever. Right? You never want to fight fair. A 1-on-3, right? A 1-on-3, that's gonna make a nice erotic film, but not a good battle. You always wanna fight from the advantage. Right? You always want to be the one deciding how to fight, when to fight, where to fight. Right? Don't let the enemy decide how to engage and where to engage. Because if you allow the enemy to make decisions, they're gonna make the decision, if they're good, what's best for them. Instead, you gotta make the decisions. So you can make the decision that's best for you. For example, right here, I can see this guy, he's standing there. So if he stops, oh, you see that palm tree fall, or whatever that was? I know there's a guy now. I know this guy's traversing here. So, with 5 milliseconds of brain activity, I can guess that he's gonna drive forward straight to where I'm looking. Right? And now, there's an E50M down there. Now the problem is I don't have enough gun depression, because those are the kind of things you should know. Right? I don't have enough gun depression to fight that, but now I see the E50M's coming. I'm loading the HE shell. I mean, he stopped just in time, which is what a good player would do, right? Stop in time. But if he didn't, that would have been a full oomph right there. And now, get the advantage, right? That 183 right here, he's isolated, he's on his own. He has a problem. Because there's a 4202 over there. No matter how useless that 4202 is, I can make him useful. Because that 183 has to always be aware of the 4202. So, I can now essentially go around him. Here comes the Leopard as well. Leopard's gonna get his ass kicked, probably. Gonna shoot the HE to kill him. And boom. Now, the Jagdpanzer, for example, he made a terrible mistake because it's a very slow vehicle. So he should never be... When he sees that team movement, right? Like, you see the Type showing up, you see the E50M showing up, you see the T100 showing up over there, right? And you're a Jagdpanzer E100. You know exactly, okay, those guys are gonna run straight into me, right? So you want to put yourself into a position where you have the advantage. Or when they run into you, you can hide, and you'll be fine. Like right now, you see what I'm doing? I know where those guys are moving, right? They're moving towards the spawn. Am I gonna go into my spawn and fight them head on? No, I'm always gonna be on their side. Right? I'm always gonna shoot them in the side. I'm gonna be where they're not looking. Every single time. And I'll do that with a medium, I'll do that with a heavy, it doesn't really matter. Because that way, you'll always have an advantage. And now I gotta get the heck out of here. I can use this rock right here as cover. I gotta have the Type 71 aware as well, because he can shoot me. Obviously, there's no chance of winning this battle, ever. But I can side scrape. I can do that. Right? Get rid of him. And now, the T100 is driving up. I can use this rock as cover. You see that? I can use this as cover to get up, to drive up. Side scrape here. To make that guy bounce. Now, I don't have enough gun depression to shoot down there. But I do have enough gun depression to do that. Get maximum damage right here. right? Because I know this is going to be a loss. So what I'm going to do is I want to get maximum damage. So I'm going to shoot the T100 because I can HE him. And now I want the E50M to come up. I'm going to retreat. Like, I want extra distance between me and them. Now, is the E50M going to peek? No, the T100 is going to do something stupid. He's going to retreat. No, here comes the E50M. I'm going to turn around, shoot the E50M. Boom. Ram him. Extra damage. Now I'm dead. Get close. Grinding the 4005. Bad choice. Especially if you're a beginner. That's like the 4005 is the worst choice you can make if you're not sure how to play the game. You want to go something like an E100, a 60 TP, an E50M, a T110 E5. Something like that. It's really good. It is not. So the 4005 is a one-trick pony. 4005 is good if it's not spotted and the enemy is spotted. However, because you're always spotted, pretty much, it's only going to be good if you have a team that does all the work for you. Hoping I figure it out by the time I get there. You won't. Pick a tank that's decent to start. Because if you start with a trash tank, like the 4005, you're gonna get wrecked, mercilessly, like in the entire tech tree of the 4005, you're gonna get wrecked. And if you get wrecked like that, you're gonna start developing terrible habits that you're never gonna get rid of. So you wanna start with a tank that's sort of very well-rounded, that's a little bit of everything, because then it's a lot harder to do it wrong, right? Because the tank's a little bit of everything. But if you start with a 4005, right, then you're gonna learn a lot of things that you shouldn't. $50B. Just don't mind people yelling at you the under threats weekly about Russian. Well, I mean, it's Russians. So, yeah. 2,500 battles enough. No. 2,500 battles in Blitz is nothing. I was terrible till like 10k battles. So you do not want to 4,005 at this. You want to really, like, especially the first tier 10s, you want to start with either the E50M or easy to play heavy, pretty much. Otherwise, you're just, yeah, you're gonna do that. Alright, with a 4005. That 4005 should be in one place. There. So, because now what he's gonna do, he's gonna get his ass kicked. So, let's see. An Alticant with 100, yeah, I reckon a 4005. Yeah, that doesn't matter. So, that does not matter. It's a great achievement to have, but it doesn't matter. So, you can have 10,000 damage. You can have a 10,000 damage game in the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. It's still gonna be a shit tank. So, which place kind of thinking about was really good. Yeah, because you're gambling. Alright, and some people learn a lot faster than others, and obviously I started in 2014, when there was no such thing as YouTube videos and guides about Blitz. So, you can learn a lot faster now than you could back then. However, you still want to not start with a 4005, or a Batchat, or a 50B, those are like the worst tanks you can start with, or a Grill. You know, any paper tank that, or, you know, Leopard 1, any tank that has no armor whatsoever, you should never start with. Alright, 205B. Yeah, true. I mean, even though you would need a certain level of masochism to do that. Hello. Barrow. How you doing? I'm good. But yeah. It's like, yes, a tank can be really fun and it can be amazing for you, but it doesn't mean it's good overall. Or you can do a lot of average damage in a tank, but that doesn't make it good to start with. You know, you can have a 4K average Leopard, and it still would be stupid to recommend the Leopard to a beginner. Right? Alright. Ew. And the 50B, which is another tank you should never start with. Thank you, Triggy, for the 36 months. Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. For being a panda for 36 months. Thank you. Okay, two gone. Non-nutritional fiber. What's that? Asbestos. Why pandas? Because pandas are cute. And they're useless. So it tracks. Because I'm useless. Alright, let's reload. Like a vehicle like this, you have to play it very slowly. Very slowly. Because like, you can't allow yourself to get caught on the reload. Oh, there's a guy. You see that? Right now I'm reloading. And now if we had a team, if the Leopard and KPZ would have a brain, they don't. They would push this guy, because they'd quickly realize that he's actually alone, and could get some free easy damage here. Instead, they don't do that. I'm gonna keep him tracked. And get the heck out of here. I mean, we're gonna lose anyway, but... And there's an E100 up there for some reason. And here's a VZ. He's trying to kill me. 'Cause he's horny as heck. Yep, no team. Well, I'll pump the E100. Drive past this guy. E100 just shot, which was dumb. I'm gonna do a gamer move. Like that. Because now the E100 didn't pen, and now I can get the heck out of here. Hopefully. I mean, I'm gonna die anyway. In a couple of seconds. But that E100 now, I think he's turning around. I think he did turn around. I can get him. You see, like, stuff like keeping that last shell available. That's just how you play the game. Right, and now the whole raid. I can shoot here. Come on. And as that VZ is moving forward, I'm moving backward. Right? So he can't engage me. I mean, I'm gonna die before I reload. Because the Minotaur's right there, the Hori's right there. 3 are right there, Jesus Christ. But see, I did a lot more damage than I would have if I wouldn't have done that. And I shot the 4th on the E100. Yeah, but I knew that the 62A is gonna peak me faster than the E100. Right? And the E100 with his alpha damage is gonna kill me anyway. Right? Unless he misses, then I can get away. But the 62A, he can't kill me with one shot. So taking him out first makes more sense because the 62A could instantly reload and boom. But if the E100 misses, like, it's not a zero-sum game, right? If the 62A misses, he'll kill me. If the E100 misses, I get away. Right? Because the 62A can just, first of all, follow me, and second of all, just kill me anyway, because it's going to reload instantly. But if the E100 misses or doesn't pen or shoots HE and doesn't full damage roll, I can get away. Right? So, in that regard, the 62A is the bigger threat and the easier target, because I can kill the 62A, but I can't kill the 100. So in that regard, another round of Tanker Quests. Woo! T-54E2. Alright. Ray. Couldn't bet anyone had to miss a 50B point blank. I mean, I don't think he had a camo on, so. Also, it's not a. It is a bet, but a bet that you can't lose. Because, like, you can only win it. You can't lose it. Because if you kill the 62A and the E100 kills you, you're dead. But if you don't kill the 62A, you're dead anyway. I don't have the ST-62. Right? Like, killing the 62A gives you a chance to live. Shooting the E100 gives you 0 chance to live. Right? Even if killing the 62A gives you a 5% chance to live, you're still going to take that over a 0% chance to live. Because if the 62A survives, you can't get away. You're dead. That's your last shot that you fired in that game. Right? Because 62A is just gonna reload. Then you're dead. Oh, the worthless fucking spring container. Jesus Christ. Is there nothing of value in those? Jesus. Alright, hooray. Anything else? Don't have the Kari. You're still not a member, Galestra. By the way, don't have that. You're still not a member. Damn, I ran out of crew XP boosters. I only have, hold on, let me see. I only have 16 million, 50 million, 47 million, 8.7 million left over. Ooh. New waifu, yes. New, more titties. Chat, who wants some titties? Alright. ST-62, it's a Soviet tier rate that's pointless. You deposit 300 into Wargaming's. Yeah, probably. There's not going to be a lot of them sold, but the people that will display them will be obvious. Hello, Quita, how you doing? Wi-Fi background isn't worse than paying for all. Yeah, but paying for OF is already pretty terrible. I mean, let's make a thought-out analysis of this, right? If you subscribe to a really large OF creator, there is zero chance they'll ever interact with you personally because they'll have an agency and some sweaty guy from India doing the DMs that talk to you, right? So there's no point, right? Now, if you subscribe to a smaller OF creator, that's not going to earn a lot. You're going to help commerce happen, but for the money, you could just go to a bar or a run club and meet someone for real. Or just goon for free. So there's no point in doing that. There is enough free content out there, if you so want. Because with the big OF creators, you're never gonna have any closer connection anyway. That's gonna be some agency that's handling everything, you know? Oh, let's try if I do one. Oh, it's kind of hilarious that it's an RU-251 capping. LOL. That's what you get for capping, bruv. Thank you. It's not brain. That's not brain rot. It's an accurate description of a movement. It's like red pill, right? Or alpha male. You know, it's a description of or incel. It's a group. It's a description of a group of people that you don't want to interact with, of course. But yeah. Like, here's the thing. You could solve 70% of humanity's problems if you give young men money and a Pornhub subscription. That's it. Right? Everyone at 18 years of age should just get 10K from the government. Poof. So, because what makes people bad? Alright. Got 2 gold boosters. Alright. Because if you look at any crime statistic that has ever been made, and you take away gender, age, education, and wealth status, you're gonna arrive at a simple conclusion. Being poor and miserable, with nothing to lose, makes you indeed miserable. And then being male on top of that, blech. Welcome back, Golf. I thought one of your brains don't have. Yeah, but like that's how you deal with anything. You think about it. You don't. You look at the big picture. What's behind? You know? Alright. Like, science is just upskirting Earth. But the only difference is that Earth isn't gonna sue you, and that Earth doesn't mind. Whereas people will. So you shouldn't do it to people. Duh. Alright. God damn. I haven't played this game in a while. Congratulations on being sober for a long time. Have a medal. Ah, there we go. You sure that Highlander men are gonna... I think some of them are gonna be mad. Depends, it's all about consent. So that's what matters the most. Whether someone's fine with doing something or not. Duh. But, explaining that to an alpha male is beyond my scope. Because if you think like an animal, you're gonna behave like one too. Alright. My entire life success changed with that statement. It shouldn't. Come here. Look at the big picture, that's all. And obviously, the most important question they should always ask is why? Why is it the way that it is? Right? Because what, who, blah, blah, blah. No one ever asks why. Alright. Why and not Z? Because Z is only used in a 3D space, and given that a stream in this format is 2D, yeah, only have X and Y. How is Y? Well, how is Y is... the OG-140 said... Mate, you have the advantage, you dipshit. There's an M46 Patton on the enemy team. There's two mouses. Those two mouses, they're never gonna go over here. Right? The mouses are never gonna play this position. Right? And the OG-140, like, you see, this is kind of what I mean, you know, with how to be a terrible player. That guy has zero game awareness, zero game knowledge. Right? He's not a good player. You can immediately tell that, because otherwise, he would look. There's a mouse platoon. And the HWK is not much better either. But, because the HWK is a camping little guy. Like that OG-140. You look at the M46 Patton, you look at the two mouses on a Kranwagen, and you immediately should be aware that, okay, there's nobody gonna be on the medium side. Why don't you use a reactive armor? Because I don't even care about this tank, and I'd rather have adrenaline, which I can use on every tank and works the same on every tank, than having to remember 50,000 different consumables. And I don't think, like, the advantage that gives is extremely overrated. Alright. I'm gonna lose the reload. Come on. See, there's the M46 Patton. Could be that's behind him. You know, at this point, I don't care about my performance in game anymore. And even if I was to use reactive, it wouldn't actually make me play any better. Because I don't play like that. Alright. Just gonna peek him. Yeet. Sigma. That is a lens manufacturer of which I have lenses from. Hate consumables. I don't hate consumables, I just don't think they're as useful as people think they are. Alright. Like, multi-kit, adrenaline, repair kit. That's it. Play it. Alright. Reactive is boring. Yeah, you have to remember to activate it and all that. It's kind of annoying. Alright. I like shooter games. Play CSGO a lot. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean? Reactive is pretty significant. Well, here's an idea. Just don't get shot. Shocking, right? Because if I see someone pull reactive armor, I'm just gonna not shoot at them, and I'm gonna shoot at the guy next to them. Right? And if I'm in a fight where reactive armor is gonna make the difference between life and death, I shouldn't be in there in the first place. So X and Y is just rotated axis, X and Z. Yes, but that's normally not how it is noted most of the time. What the it's one of those cunts. It's one of those fucking cunts. Alright. Of course he plays like that. Let's see. If you're sure, like, here's the thing. If you're re-rolling and you play in bot matchmaking, you can play like that. If you expect to be in bot matchmaking. Because if you're in bot matchmaking and you see two mouses, you're like, fucking yummy. You know, that's all you're gonna think if you're in bot matchmaking. If you look at an M46 pattern, you're like, nothing. There's no hit points there. Can't get it. Worthless. Right? So that then makes sense. But any non-reroll playing like that is immediately a sign of they're a terrible player. Alright. I remember throwing a tantrum when I was debating Callisto and ISU-130 with ISU... Yeah, the ISU-152 is better. So there's that. And I don't know why that would be an argument. Like, you take the ISU-152 and you change the only thing that's good about it and make it worse. Like, duh. Because, like, the only difference between the ISU-152 and the ISU-130 is the gun. And what does make the ISU-152 special? It's the insanely high penetration and the alpha damage. And the 3000 DPM, whatever it has. Right? So you're basically, on the ISU-130, losing the two things that make the ISU-152 special, and you're gaining nothing. That is of note, right? Because if you can't deal with 3k DPM, then at tier 8, then, you know, you're probably shit. Alright. With tungsten, yeah, you have one shot every minute. With tungsten, that is irrelevant. So the ISU-152 is also too accurate for its gun. And here's the thing, you would much rather hit 640 consistently, because you need to hit 640 a total of 4 times. That's it. And you're already way above tier 8 average damage. 4 times. It's 5 times more accurate. That's not true. That cannot be true. Well, no. That cannot be true. ISU-130 has more DPM. It doesn't. It doesn't. The ISU-152 has 3000 DPM with 286 millimeters of penetration. The ISU-130 has more with the premium round, but then it has like penetration. So, there's trigger damage. I was just wrong on this one. Okay. Here's the thing. You have 14% more DPM for 25% less penetration with the second shell on the ISU-130. You have 14% more DPM for 25% less penetration and 17% less alpha damage. Now, your dispersion is 0.37 versus 0.38. Put in the Leopard. The Leopard has 0.27. So, the ISU-130 has 21% better dispersion than the ISU-152, whereas the Leopard has 37% better dispersion. So, no. Same gun depression, same mobility. The traverse speed in the ISU-130 is better, but the mobility power to weight ratio is the same. So, what you have is you trade better weapon handling for a worse gun. That's all. So much better. It isn't. It just isn't. Even if we look at the, as worthless as they are, performance stats, the ISU-152 has 49.5% win rate, and the ISU-130 has 1% more. That is pathetic for a premium tank. It doesn't even, it doesn't have better stats, and it doesn't even perform better with players. So, I mean, sure, it might feel better as a player, to you personally, but you cannot, in any convincing way, claim that the ISU-152 is better than the ISU-152. That the ISU-130 is better than the ISU-152. You cannot say that. You can say it's different, which it is, but it's not better. Alright. Can't pull the winners, that's when you know they're useless. I can pull them, because if both have the same win rate, and I know that, expectedly, premium tanks have better win rate, that tells me one thing. That tells me one thing, and that is the ISU-130 isn't better. If let's say the ISU-130 had 55%, and the other one, the ISU-152 had 50, you could be like, okay, it does better. But in this case, it's the same, so you can't conclude that one is better than the other from that. You can't not conclude it either, that they're the same, but you can say neither is better. That's it. Right? Because if one or the other would have massively higher win rate, you could make a point. Right? But they have the same, so it's basically irrelevant in that regard. So you can't make a claim that it's better based on those numbers. You can't make a claim that it's better based on the gun numbers, except the aim time. And dispersion, which is the only fair point you can make is that it has better weapon handling. That is it. That is it. And I'll accept that. You know? But I'd rather have the higher alpha damage, higher penetration, and the gun more suited to the hull than that weapon handling. Because here's the thing. The ISU-152 is not a vehicle. The hull is not built to brawl with tanks. It's meant to sit in a place somewhere in the back and lob shells. Like a 183, sort of. So what do you want there? You want maximum alpha damage, and you want maximum oomph. You want the oomph. Right? And the less shots you gotta fire, the better, in that case. Because you got no armor, you got ass mobility, and sure, you have the traverse speed, but if you get yourself flanked by a medium tank, you've already done it wrong anyway. Why don't you try it yourself and read the stats? I have played the vehicle myself before. So... what are some great textures that make you better? Well, no tank's gonna make you better, but it can make it easier. E50M for medium tanks. 60 TP. E100. Those kind of ones you want. Just assuming everything. I'm not assuming anything. I have played the vehicle before and I know that it's not good. So... Uh-oh. One! One! Because here's the thing. You have to play both vehicles the same. Because the armor is the same, the mobility is the same. Right? So you can't play either of them aggressive. If you try, you're gonna die. So you have to sit somewhere. And if you do that, the .37 accuracy is not gonna kill you. Because you can just aim your shots in peace. Right? Trash! One has more HP and traverse. It's a stationary tank destroyer. If you're in a situation where you needed to traverse, you've already fucked up. Wow. 10 hit points. I mean... I'm gonna start my propaganda. Good night, Varro. Go to the grind still to get the V55. Oh, that's an okay choice. That's an okay choice. So what I have now is I have about a second worse reload than the ISU 152. But I have either worse penetration and worse alpha damage, significantly worse alpha damage, or I have significantly worse penetration and worse alpha damage. And shell velocity's ass for both. Alright. I mean, it is AP, so that's what you expect. So, and another one about the ISU 152. Bigger gun means bigger HE. Where you have 90 penetration on the ISU 152, you only have 65 on the ISU 130. And you only have 600 alpha damage on this gun, where you have 960 on the ISU 152. So, 2 shots of that AG on the ISU 152 is already much more than alpha damage at that tier. So, yeah. Alright. Can't over my... Yeah, well, but yes, that is true, Razvan. But obviously 130 to 152, it's not that big of a difference. In that regard, but... yeah. Alright, 900 damage. Now, I hit 2 shots. Both of those shots I could have hit with the ISU as well, and it would have done more damage. Alright. And I would have also missed that moving shot on the ISU as well, because the... is the same. Aim... Aim, aim. I could have hit that with the ISU as well and could have done more damage. Alright. I'll play this tank properly. Tungsten, you can use that once every, what, minute? I'd rather have the alpha damage outright, thank you very much. Because then I can just use the adrenaline and get the shot ready faster. Alright. And, I mean, if you have to argue with that a consumable makes a tank better, then the tank's not better. If you have to resort that low. Alright. But look at that. Does traverse speed make a difference? Nope. Alright. I mean, I'm gonna have to do something here. I'm gonna have to go aggressive. Somewhat. Come on. Aim, 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 just to make a point. There we go. Could have hit that with the ISU-152. Could have hit that with the ISU-152. And now I'm stuck because I neither have armor nor mobility. So... I'll wait for that guy to move. Okay, the ammo is there. This is one situation where I could have an advantage with this vehicle because I could reverse and try and snap. However, on the other hand, because the ISU-152 has a better HE shell, I could just yeet the HE shell at the T-26 and I'd kill him. Whereas with this thing's HE, I can't do that. Most likely. So, yeah. Alright. I mean, I got 280 battles in this one. And, I mean, sure, again, you can like any tank you want. But going out and just claiming a tank's better because you like it more is baseless and stupid. Anyway, let's go. Time for the pancake. Yeah, I don't know. One thing is the shell capacity on the ISU-152 is shit. This is not good. I mean, you don't need premium ammo because you got 286. It's objectively better. Objectively based on who? It's not better based on the raw stats. Not better based on the player stats. It's not better based on any in-game performance. Who says it's objectively better? There's not a single value you can look at and say, there it's objectively better. It's just not. So... LTG... You'll see... That one, 62A... Strife. Do I have that? Do I have the Strife? Bang for cross. Alright, the trick is here. Have a good one. Have a good one. You know, it is pretty difficult to declare one tank definitely better than the other. And that with a lot of differences in tank. But if you have a tank like this, where you lose too much to gain so little, it's not worth it. So, Titans, do I have that? I don't think I have that, man. My bad, trying to prove something to you. You don't even play the game seriously, so I shouldn't try to explain. And you have, like... I mean, I'm not gonna go there, but... I have significantly more experience, more battles, and more knowledge. So let's not go there. So I'm not gonna pull out that card. Forest Witch. Well, I'm not using the press account, though. Forest Witch. Do I have that? I do, yes. You know. Alright. Wait, is it that Charioteer copy? Oh, that's just a Titan Charioteer. No, it's not a thing. It's not a thing I have. I have the Titan Charioteer, but I don't have the Titan Drive. So, you know, like that's the thing, Calestri. You can't prove something that you can't prove because you can't. The only thing you can say is, "Oh, but I play it better." That's your only argument, and that is a subjective preference, and not an objective. The vehicle's better. Because you can't prove that. All right. Let's start there. Let's start there. At the LTG. So, like, you can prove that the E50M is better than the CS63, for example. That's an easy one, because you have a similar gun with everything else on the E50M pretty much being better, and the armor's insane, right? And it can ram and all that. So, there you can be like, okay, you have a significant difference that is in one vehicle's favor. Right? But with that case, with the 130 and the 152, one is better there, the other one's better there, and at the end it makes no difference. And they're both different at the same thing. They're both different at the same thing. Right? They both play the same, but one hits harder, the other one hits more accurate. That's it. Right? And rather, in that case, with a vehicle like this, I'd rather hit much harder than more accurate, because, you know, DPM's the same. All that kind of stuff. Alright, I mean, here's the thing. The ISU 152 doesn't even need premium ammo. It's got 286 standard. The fuck? Alright. Otherwise, if the penetration was bad, or the DPM was bad, you could make a point. But now you can't. Alright. Trying to prove that one of these two is better than the other would be as stupid as trying to prove that one of the three Donald Duck nephews is better than the other, right? They're the same thing, but one's wearing a different hat. Duh. So, but they're still fucking ducks. Alright. Schmetta attack. Played it yet. I don't know if I can tell you if I've played it or not. So, let's leave it at that. Play Lupus. I don't have that. No Strife, you don't have to watch that. Why would you do that? Why would you voluntarily do that? You know. One more tank can be requested. You know, like I'm not even saying the ISU 152 is better than the. That's not. I'm not even fucking saying that. I'm just saying it ain't better. The ISU ain't better than the ISU 130, but the ISU 130 is definitely not better than the 152. That's it. No, that's for my tank. What do you mean your tank? Not for your tank. It's a good thing not to have Lupus. That is true. That is true. Alright, one more tank can be requested. Do I have enhanced armor on the LC? I don't know. I don't. I do. I have improved assembly, but I should put enhanced armor on again for the joke. Alright. For the sake of the joke. I haven't. Nope. I've never spent my own money on those kind of tanks, and yeah. Because ultimately this game's about playing the tanks you enjoy, right? And if you think one tank's more enjoyable than the other, then you play that one. It doesn't matter if it's better or not. It matters if you enjoy a tank or not. Obviously, it would be stupid to claim that a tank is better just because you like it. Duh. But, you know, you don't have to just like the good tanks. Yeah, Strife, you can just, like, use a website and look up stuff and, you know. Tank do you like the most? There is not one tank that I'd pick. Because, to me, that would always be a case of playstyle. Like, what tank fits the way I want to play the most? And that would be an E50M. That would be, currently at least, the 62A. That would be an STB-1. That would even be the Chieftain, even though it has Hesh. It would be a T-125, a Concept 1B. Any of those kind of playstyles, tier is lower. Right? Because at the end of the day, the differences between tanks aren't as significant as people make them out to be in a lot of cases. Right? They're small differences most of the time. You know, 5% here, 10% there. Maybe 20% in some cases. Right? So you find yourself a style you want to play, and then you pick the tanks that fit it. And there you go. I remember being matched with Tier 8 and 9 using the LCMX well, PC like 12 years ago. Gee. Yeah. It's a very long time ago. Ow, what the heck? Drive is so nice until the reverse. What's the reverse speed? $12. What's the problem with that? Here's the thing. If your tank's got a reverse speed of over 10, and you have a problem with that, you've peaked too far. In most cases. Right? In most cases, you've just peaked too far, because most of the time, acceleration is a bigger problem than top speed. On the majority of tanks. Even medium tanks, you'll have a bigger problem with acceleration than a top speed. So... I mean, the Concept 1B has a 16 kilometers an hour reverse speed, which, you know, it's nice to have. But you should not peak any further than your gun. Right? And unless you're in an extremely long tank, you're not gonna, in most cases, not hit your reverse speed by the time you're back in cover. Bruh. Almost +2. Well, that was... Well, no, in the very early days of World of Tanks PC, Tier 5 light tanks could end up in a Tier 10 match. Like in the very early days of World of Tanks PC. That was very, very early days. And then it was +-2. And now it's like... still sort of +-2, but also with the matchmaking thing. Different. Okay. Well, we're gonna lose this because there's no map control and no game awareness, so GG lads. So nobody's pushing anything, because what would have to happen now is to go together and push these guys. Right? Like, get out in some case. That's never gonna happen. Those two guys are gonna get eaten by the mediums. Those two guys are gonna achieve nothing, and the mediums are gonna die. Mediums are gonna die. They're gonna come around. You know that STB is dead. And yeah, there's even another guy back there, the E50M. Thanks for shooting heat, bruv. Alright. I might have changed my location. I mean, that's not unusual, but for me, it's always in the same country. Because they change, like, the routing. The routing goes not what's the shortest way, but what's the fastest way. Right? So sometimes you can end up in a completely different country. Like, you want to go to a server in America, but you get routed to Greece first. Because that just happens to be the faster route currently. So... that can happen. The heck? Blocked 4K damage. 8. Oof. Oh my. Ouch. AMX 5100 as well. Get out that to the list. More like you don't reverse. Man, it's enough. Oh my, what the hell, bruv? Oh, that's a different anime. It's two guys with the same anime. They're platoon as well. Jeez. How did you do 0? Can you check? Check what? Forest Twitch. That it? Forest Twitch. Hello? You were in Romania. Well, maybe you're in Romania. I mean, my internet location changes a lot as well. Like when you have like the login or devices trying to log in from there, and sometimes it's like Frankfurt and stuff like that. But that's normal. Especially if you turned off location services on your computer, which you should. That's just gonna, like, it's gonna pick the last location it has access to, right? If it doesn't have access to your computer's location, it's just gonna pick the one before that it knows. So, yeah. Ay, ay, ay. I love the way this thing looks. Yeah, I mean, even though, if you think about it, this is not combat ready. It's not allowed to go into battle like that. It's not allowed to go into battle like that. You know, then again, you know, I'm not a tank inspector. You know. Like, claiming to be a tank expert because you play a tank game is like claiming you're a Marine because you can eat crayons. So... Check the 5100. Yeah, it's something like that. 232 sounds sane, because I think the Lorraine has something like that as well. Pretty high penetration there for the French. Not sure though. Can't say pen for a Tyria heavy. Yeah, but it's nice to have. It is nice to have, certainly. Press the trigger with a droopy gun. Oh. There's a cuck shell in it. But there is no enemy team left. God damn. That was quick. Little bit disappointing. Achieved absolutely nothing. I don't know, but have a look. Yeah. I mean, you would have a lot from being a gyno, because even though Republicans are banning women's health care, they are being stuck in Russia's ass. So we'll need to have a lot of, you know, looking up done there. Even though, wrong hole. But you can retrain that quickly. You can even fake the license because it's America now and law doesn't exist anymore. Hey yo. Speed. This tank is not about speed. But yeah. I'm gonna proctor over either I've seen enough assholes, might as well be. Yep. You'd need one of those. You need one of those. God damn. That is a good one. That is a good one. Okay, we have an ISU 152. See, if it's an ISU 152, I'm worried. If it's an ISU 130, I'm not. Because the ISU 152 can hit me for 1,000 damage. The 130 can't. So, in that regard, it's also a hell of a lot more scary. But I'm gonna peek sideways anyway? Of course I am. Alright. What the hell is that 152? I mean, that's a tier 60. J.D. Vance killed the Pope. He did. He did. I mean, the Pope was a good one for being the Pope. You know? See, Trump's saying online posts that he tends to ignore due process because giving everyone a trial would take too long. No, but I'm not surprised that a man that likes Hitler does things Hitler did. Yeah. Alright. I mean, he's about on schedule. He already started the first camp. So, you know, that's the thing. The the U.S. Army psychologist that analyzed all the Nazis at the Nuremberg trials, right? I don't remember his name right now, but what he concluded was that the one thing that all of them had in common is they had no empathy for other people. They had no empathy whatsoever. So that what makes one evil. Because, you know, it always starts the same and it always ends the same, right? Like, they start with, okay, they're different. There are people that are different. That's the basis. Then, you start having a problem. Okay, I have a problem. Okay, what can I do? I can either solve the problem, or I can blame the problem on someone else. Right? Now, solving the problem is difficult. I don't want to think, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to blame someone else. Right? Who are we going to blame? Okay, we know there are people that are different. There's a minority. Okay, they're a minority. Because I want to obviously win, I can't hit on the majority, right? If you're an American and you're against white Christians, you're never gonna get a majority for anything because of the way the voting works, right? So you have to make those guys your base, essentially. You can't be like, I love Satan, fuck white people. You're never gonna win like that in America, right? You might win. I mean, I don't know, Africa's pretty religious, but, you know, let's say there would be an African nation, South Africa. You could maybe win with that, right? Because they're the white people are a minority, right? So you do that, boom, now you're in power. Now, you don't want to solve problems. You can't solve the problems because you're fucking stupid. So you're going to just blame other people. You're going to be like, yeah, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. Then someone says, yeah, but if it's their fault, why don't we just, like, put them away? And then you're like, okay, let's deport them, let's put them somewhere else. And then, okay, nobody wants them. Where the hell do we put them? It's the same with all the migrants. Like, nobody wants them back, right? Like, you can't deport 1 million people that you can't put anywhere because nobody wants them. So they have to pay a country to house them and essentially then imprison them, right? Because that place that you're paying wants to, like, keep the flow of money, so they're just going to imprison them so they can't run away and go anywhere else so they lose their money. Or you put them in a place where you are. You put them in a camp, right? Now, you have 3 options. You can let them go, which means you have to admit that you were wrong and they weren't the cause for what went wrong. You can feed them and, like, do forced labor and stuff like that, but that's not profitable because, you know, you're still doing capitalism, in a way. And that's probably the only difference that's going to be if America drifts off the entire way, right? That's the only difference, right? The difference is going to be that the Nazis, the camps were state-run. With Trump, the camps are going to be private-run. That's going to be the only difference. So, anyway, another round of tank requests. I forgot that. But, you know, second option, you feed them and maybe you force them to do labor, blah, blah. Forced labor is terrible. They're not motivated, especially if you don't feed them right, which is always going to happen because they're stupid, again. And forced labor products are never good. So, that's not a plan either if you want a long-term solution. So what's option 3? You kill them. And that's how it always ends up like, right? Because unfortunately, having a group of people that's different, blaming all your problems on them, and then killing them, is one of the easiest things you can do. And if you're a primitive idiot, that's where it goes. That's what they did to Jesus. Blame all the problems, kill him. Alright. 77% cameras OP. Until you fire. Until you fire. So. Until you fire. Because then it's 13. E100. But yeah. It always ends like that. Trump is signing contracts with closed prisons in Louisiana to house immigrants. And there we have it. How could I have guessed that? I didn't know that, but, like, the fuck? That's too real. Alright. It's the same with now the AFD in Germany. Right? That's also gonna be the difference, right? You're not gonna have national socialists, you're gonna have national capitalists. In a way, because it's more profitable. And obviously billionaires that fund those parties don't want their stuff taken away. They don't want to nationalize anything, they want to privatize everything. So, duh. I mean, essential services should never be in private hands, should never be profit-driven. You know, post office, prisons, hospitals, public transport. They should never be private. It's a service. It doesn't need to make money. It has to provide a fucking service. You know? Nobody's gonna say that the military's losing billions of money, whatever currency it's in, every year, for providing a service. Sort of. Hello. Can we please peek? Oh yeah! I mean, it wasn't really worth it, but it still did 800, so that's nice. What the hell? What was that name? It's Mao Zedong. It's a hilarious name. That is a hilarious name right there. Go away, Mao. See, this is another bad downside of the internet. I saw a documentary about you know, I had nothing better to do. I watched a documentary about the certain mustached man. And most of the comments were like, yeah, but what about Mao? What about Stalin? Like, the fuck? Alright. Like, once you've reached a certain point of evil, you're just evil. There ain't no layers to that. Here's a video idea. Dictator tier list. But how would you like group that? What would be S tier? Like, you can't do. Can I believe some German voters seeing fashion before they say anything? Hey, do that before you try it again. But they don't think that way. That's the problem. Most of them don't think at all. Most of them don't think at all. And most of them don't think that way. You know, they just think, most of them, obviously there's going to be plenty of Nazis. I'll get to that. Most of them are going to be thinking, okay, the parties that we have in government, they suck. Oh, there's a new party. Oh, there's some people vote. Let's try that one. You know, it's like if you go to the supermarket and you have 5 flavors and you tried 4 of them, you know, yeah, let's try the 5th one. The problem is the 5th one is shit flavor. And here's how it goes with any political party. Imagine a political party as a barrel of wine. Now, if you piss into a barrel of wine, it's gonna be like 1,000 liters of wine and 1 liter of piss, probably. We're still it's a barrel of piss now. It's not a barrel of wine. It's now a barrel of piss. It's the same with Nazis. If you put one Nazi in a party, you have a Nazi party. Boom. All right. MXCDA. That's kind of the problem. Like the logical end result of fascism is always genocide of whatever minority they happen to blame for everything. Let this game die. Soon enough. How you doing? Camo would have helped me a lot on this map. Alright. I want to save the enemy, but here's the thing with camo, right? Sure. The camo while moving the camo while stationary is great. The problem is, at some point you want to fire. You don't want to just sit in a bush, right? And stare at the bush. You don't want to do that. You actually want to fire at people. So the camo rating that's actually important is the camo rating while firing. Otherwise, like, you can traverse the map and stuff like that, which is a nice bonus to have. But you want to actually fight people in some cases, and then in the absolute majority of tanks, the camo rating while firing is under 15%. So that's what you gotta aim for. That's the distance you have to be at. Aim with aim without being shot is great. That is true. I mean, it is a bigger advantage for tanks with bad aim time. But it is a nice bonus to have, of course. Not saying it's not, but it's not significant enough to make a tank suddenly be amazing. You know? That's what I mean. I mean, if you have 10 things that are, like, even 5 things that are nice to have, you know, if you go on a tank. That can make it amazing, but if you just have one, eh. So if you have one spoon of ice cream, not gonna fail you, but hey, it's a spoon of ice cream. You'll take it. It's lovely. But you'd rather have the bucket of ice cream. So the question is, what ice cream? What's the best flavor of ice cream? Hey, oh no. How did they end up in a 4v3? Wine. There's wine flavored ice cream? Yeah, but not the wine from the piss barrel. Not that one. Just make sure of that. Oh my. Go away. Go away, go away, go away. Can make wine ice cream. I probably can. But I wouldn't know how it tastes like. Better be. Oh. Oh. So peach slices too. Ooh, that sounds nice. Would giving light tanks a buff to their camo while shooting make their role in Blitz more justified? Probably would, yeah. Like, if a light tank would keep it would be pain though. Like, if a light tank would keep the camo rating while firing as well, that would be pain. That would be hella pain. But back to that dictator tier list. If you were to make a dictator tier list, how would you order it? Because you can't put like the worst in S tier, can you? All right. Because it would be a funny thing. It would be an interesting thing to do. You know, you're gonna bring out the unknown ones, like that guy in Eritrea. I don't know what the fuck his name is. Oh. Oh, okay. Yep. Razvan won. Razvan won. I'm probably in S tier. Wasn't there 3 of them? I think. But yeah. Perfect. Razvan. Perfect. Perfect. Just two that ruled. Okay. Not that. I'm not that well aware of post-revolution French rulers. Which... that also kind of shows that if you don't maintain democracy, or if you cut off too many heads, it's always going to regress back to authoritarianism. Because it's easier. That's the problem. Authoritarianism is easier than democracy. And, like, communism is much harder than democracy. Which is why that's never going to work. Authoritarianism is easy. Just find yourself mostly a man. Find yourself a man with semi-inbred genetics and be like, hey you say how it goes. You know, and everyone else is just following orders, so it's never their fault when something goes bad. Right? But you can't criticize the king because then you'll get executed. It's never your fault. It's always the Mexicans. So... instead of progress voting has required more equality. Yeah. I mean, it's always kind of like this, 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. You know? I mean, it was a lot of progress after World War II as well. If you see it that way. Right? The problem, like, that's kind of the sad thing about humanity, right? Like, something truly terrible has to happen to then get people together and be like, oh, we gotta fix this shit. Because if everything's just not that bad, it's like boiling a frog, you know? If you throw the frog into the boiling water, he's like, ah! But if you slowly turn up the temperature, the frog's just gonna sit there and be like, man, this is nice and warm, and then, pff, dead. So... yeah. That's why, like... conservatives are basically never conservative anymore. They're always regressive. Right? They don't want to keep what is, they want to go back to what was. It's not conservatism, that's regressivism. You know? But if you're conservative, if you just want to keep things the way it is, and the other guy wants to go forward, and you're in a decent parliamentary democracy, you always have to compromise and go somewhat forward. Right? So you never win. But if you, like, if you want regression, and the other guy wants progression, you can meet at standstill. Pretty much. So, yeah. Because, I mean, that's kind of the problem with the American system. If you have 2 parties, you're never gonna have, like, most of the time, you're never gonna have cooperation. Right? You can just choose which party to dictate. Only cancer needs regression. Yes. That is also a good way to describe, far-right parties, but, anyway. Saddam Hussein invaded hiding spots. Put him in BT despite the human rights violation. Yeah. He wasn't as much of a... the only positive thing you can probably say about Saddam Hussein is that he wasn't as terrible as his son. But that says more about his son. How the fuck are those mediums dead? Oh, well, I mean, the T-100 is dead because he's stupid. But... oh, that was a waste of shell. But how the hell did... where are the other corpses? I only see the T-100. Oh, what the fuck? Why is he there? But but you know, like, if you... people that are happy are never gonna vote for fascist parties, and most of the time they're also not gonna vote for extreme left parties either, right? If the people are happy. Like, there's no such thing as a happy fascist. It's not it doesn't exist. Right? So, you gotta make the people's lives better, and you gotta make them feel like the life's good, and then they're not gonna do that shit. Alright, another round of tank requests. This is gonna be the last round of tank requests for today. Let's go. You know, because that's kind of the problem, you know. When someone is miserable and has nothing to lose, what are they gonna do? Are you gonna convince a guy in a Ferrari to strap himself into a bomb vest and blow himself up? Probably not. I mean, it's possible. But extremely unlikely. It's almost impossible. But take a desperate guy from a village somewhere that has nothing except a pair of sandals and a goat, and be like, hey, do you want to go to paradise? Do you want to be a forever praised warrior in the name, the highest being? And that, like, okay. You know? It's a lot easier to take from people that have nothing. Which is like why Sam Bankman-Fried is in prison, but Elon Musk isn't. Because he's only robbing poor people. The FTX guy made the mistake of robbing rich people. You don't do that. You go to prison for that. But if you rob poor people, you're on the front page of Forbes magazine. That's the reward. So, yeah. On that topic, the 30 under 30 is a paid category. You can buy yourself in there. Anyway, that as a side note. Let's go. Kill poor people by denying them health insurance. No one bats an eye. That's it. Yeah, see, that's just business. That's just business. Because that's the thing. Capitalism, in its end stage, is necessarily fascist. Fascism sees people as different values. And capitalism also sees people as different values. Right? Like, someone is worth more because they have more money. Or someone is worth more because they're a specific skin color. Or someone's worth more because they're a specific religion. That belongs together. Right? Which is why, if you just let that go, you're always going to end in the same place. Which is why you have the Nordic model, for example, which is the best system we currently have, that doesn't do that. For example, how you can do it better. But if you let capitalism run to its end stage, you're no longer a person. You're simply a tool to produce value with. And a tool to purchase things, to consume. Alright, like, your only purpose is to create value for the shareholders. That is all. Alright. I mean, thanks Lorraine for throwing. But, because they're not gonna... I mean, the standard B is gonna do something stupid as well. Probably. Oh. How the fuck did that hit? How? I'm gonna die in 3, 2, 1. Okay. That's a surprise. Not seeing all messages. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. It's like that, you know? Again. Evil is a lack of empathy and the view that oneself can do no wrong. Like, if I think I can never be wrong, but I have no empathy, that's evil. I'm gonna play now. What you gonna play?
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, Phoenix. I mean, the money's worth more than the people, right? Like, of course, the economy. Like, I've seen, during COVID, I've seen clips on, unfortunately, I didn't see them on Fox News, because I would never watch that, but I've seen clips of Fox News where people were like, oh, we're gonna open the country back up, because the economy is gonna suffer. And they're like, yeah, but that means that people are gonna die. And they're like, yeah, but sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Like, they're just saying it, you know, they're like, fuck the people. I only care about imaginary number going up. But hey, at the end of the day, once climate change is destroyed our means of living, those that remain will realize that you can't eat money. Ah, damn it. Oh, the Scorpion is AFK. Oh, that's terrible. It will be such a neat little snack right here. That would be such a neat little snack right here. I'm dead. Are those guys doing anything? Nope, they are not. Speed! Somehow I got... Ah, never mind, I didn't get away. I'm dead. Somehow I got away for now. Don't think I'll get around the...
That one didn't go through.
Yep.
This vehicle has had it.
God damn! Hi, Syed, how doing? Alright, well that will be it then. And? Is it all that terrible? Let's go. There we go. I hope I can get a match. In the man tank. There's 17 people in tier 3. See, that is what I genuinely think is a good thing with Reforged. That the lower 3 tiers are going to be put into 1. I mean, obviously, it's not good at progression. It's not good for the progression, really, and it's not, you know, the way it's supposed to be, but they screwed it up this badly in 5.5. So here we are. Can get from a tier 1 to 4 in a single hour of gameplay. True. But how much difference is going to get Reforged? 4. Yeah, but I mean 10 tiers is cooler than 7, you know. I mean they're probably going to get back. Hmm. PT7 or facing tier 1 would be nice. Yeah, but they're all gonna get rebalanced, so it's not gonna be the same anymore. But I probably, given Wargaming's endless wisdom, they're most likely just gonna buff the tier 1 and 2 tanks up to tier 3 level and just leave it there because there's tier 3 is the tier with the most tanks. So they have to do the least effort to just like buff the tier 1 and 2 tanks. Or they're gonna nerf 3 and buff 1. That would be the most sane option, probably. You know, buff the tier 1s up to tier 2 and nerf the tier 3s down to tier 2. That's what I would do, but hopefully that's what Wargaming's gonna do. Or what they did, I don't know. I didn't look at the stats of I did not look at the stats in the super test or the ultra test. It's not a super test, it's an ultra test. Ooh. I think Howitz is like 105 and the TI2 will come back. Probably not. Probably not. Don't forget the hydrate, as always. It's very important. Oops. I don't know what's supposed to hit that. Okay, Roswan. Okay. That's 2 for 2. Come on, there's enough people for a match. There's not even. God damn it. It's time for M3. That's a good one. That is a good one, Roswan.
Бой начинается.
Alright. Tier 4 battle. Oh my god, a diarrhea wagon. It's the way is what the Germans call it. I mean, its supposed name is breakthrough wagon, but might as well call it the diarrhea wagon. Yeah, it's a great start already. Can't do anything. Nothing I can do there. What I can. Take care of that. And see if that oh my B1, what the hell are you doing? it is.
Броня не пробита.
Bro, why me?
Пробил. Есть пробитие.
Come on! Why?
Пробито.
No, fuck.
Уничтожен.
Well, and with that horrible disappointment, that is it for another week of Blitz. And I might play Blitz again this week to make a video. I don't know, but well, we'll see. That was shite. So, with that, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you again on hopefully Friday with I don't know. If the World of Tanks PC game mode has a new map, I'll play that. Otherwise, I don't know yet. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your support. And as always, stay hydrated, stay safe, God damn it. Stay safe, don't die, goodbye.